Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 64. Welcome back to the semi-finals. We've been casting nothing but ZVPs up until this point, following Lambo into Hero, into Creator, then Creator into Reynor, and now following Reynor into the semis. Finally taking a break from the non-stop ZVPs and embracing a bit of Terran with Clem versus Reynor. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be jumping into our Terran versus Zerg matchup. We're going to be jumping into Tourmaline for game one. Sorry, Title Citadel for game number one. Here we go again. It's nice to take a break from the non-stop ZVPs, and we'll see how Reynor can compare to Clem here. The ZVT matchup has been shifting quite a bit, quite heavily. There's a lot to get into. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. We go. Here we go. So jumping into our TvZ. Now, coming into the current meta, coming into what ZVT looks like post new mapple and post patch, of course, we have seen a rise and resurgence of Ling Bane Muta. Fast Muta play and Muta play in general has become more viable, especially on larger maps. Just because Ling Bane is more accessible as well. It all kind of plays into each other. Remember, there was a big change to the Baneling, where the Baneling does have extra HP post the upgrade, post centrifugal hooks. That does allow Ling Bane to be more viable. And that means that Roach based openers are less common. If you remember, 2024, 2023, it was very standard to open up Roach instead of Ling Bane, and we saw a lot of Roach Ravager into Ultra in recent years, or even just Roach Ravager into Ling Bane Roach Ravager, into these like slower, more methodical ZVTs instead in recent years. But now with the change, now with the buff, that means that Ling Bane is more viable, that means that Roaches aren't as necessary, and that means that Muta play is also more accessible thanks to the changes to the Spire as well. So a lot has changed, a lot has adapted, so we can see more intense, more back and forth mid-game, but we'll see how our players do decide to open up. We shall see. Likewise, Mech is still seen. Mech is still viable, but in a different way. Battle Mech, that is not as viable as the change of the Cyclone went through, of course. So whenever we see Mech, it's typically a more Hellion heavy into a more traditional form of Mech with mass tank. We've seen that quite a bit from players like Cure, from players like Maru. Now though, we're settling in. We didn't notice that Reynor went for a later gas geyser, so he went into a later gas. With this, we'll see if he does skip any tech. So Reynor was cutting corners early. So later link speed out of Reynor. Clem himself going for the initial Reaper Scouts. And doesn't find a drone. Drone does survive. Reynor, upon going for a later gas geyser, he's also going for a later third base as well. We could actually decide to go for a Roach Warren here. What are we spending our gas on? Link speed, but take note, doesn't pull out of gas. So delayed link speed, still mining gas. This can lead a couple different ways. This can go into a fast lair, into fast spire, into Muta play. Otherwise, this could go into a faster Roach one. You can see we're pulling back into gas. I'm leaning more towards lair. It has to be. Like a 325 lair timing would make sense. Reynor, he's almost there when it comes to gas. Gasito. Meanwhile, behind this, Clem is going for a 3cc 2-on-1. Going for an early sim timing. Reaper going to be zoned away. We have the gas. There it is. Yep, 336 lair timing. Could have been a little bit earlier here, but regardless, 336. So insanely fast lair. This should be for 2-ace Muta. So it should be 2-ace Muta here. Now, technically, there is a build where you can go into really fast Hydras, into a Hydra heavy composition instead. That has been a build that has been popping up from time to time. We have seen Reynor do it in recent times as well. Gases are being taken, all 4 gases. On our X, no! Esther X. Come back to us, Pappy. He's a Taiwanese caster, of course. But with all 4 gases, this should be Muta play. It should be Spire. Earlier, we had the option for this to be a Hydrogen. Oh. Reaver gets called out. Now, what has Clem seen? Clem didn't see the gases, he didn't see the lair, but he did see the lack of third, right? Insanely late third base, it screams 2-base play, either 2-base lair into 2-base Muta or fast roaches. Like, Clem knows something is wrong. And remember, Clem is going for an early sim timing anyway. There's a Spire, as you mentioned, all 4 gases, and the fast lair screams Muta play, so 2-base Muta out of Reynor. But this early sim timing is designed to punish and to almost hard counter 2-base Muta. Again, there's a lot of Marines, a lot of bio, medevacs are on the way. This is going to hit hard. We'll see if Reynor can survive this. Unfortunately, Reynor has 0 information. Like, Reynor has seen nothing. He knows nothing. I mean, he saw the Hellions, and he also sees the lack of Hellions. True, only 2. By this point, there should be 6. So the lack of Hellions here that's being revealed might tip Reynor off to play it safe here, that Marines are coming, and we already see Link production underway. We have a safety Baneling Nest as well before Eva Chambers, so Reynor, he might be able to survive this just because he's not droning up too heavily. Just because he knows that something is wrong, right? He's aware of the lower Hellion count. Meanwhile, medevacs have arrived. And we're waiting for that move out. As Clem pokes in, confirms no 4th expansion.
Complete.
Oh, and we're going to take a more defensive stance here. Now, I assume that Clem was going to go for his sim timing, but no, he's playing it safe. He doesn't really know. I mean, he hasn't confirmed himself what he's up against. So staying back at home, building up his Widow Mines. Widow Mines tells us that more or less he's aware. Yeah, he's got turrets. He's got safety turrets in the natural, in the main base. There's a scan. He confirms the Spire. Now he knows 100%. Now he's fully aware. Fully aware what's going on. There's his second factory. And he's just taking it, yeah, again, he's just taking a defensive stance, just ensuring that these mutas don't find any damage. And if these mutas don't find any damage, what does that mean? That means that Reynor, he delayed his Baneling Nest, he delayed his Baneling upgrades, he delayed his Eva Chambers. He doesn't even have them, by the way. Still no Eva Chambers, no upgrades. Reynor's falling behind. Ideally, these mutas, they catch medevacs. Ideally, they get SCV kills. They've got nothing so far. They've achieved nothing. And the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Clem. Unless Reynor can catch out some Marines. And Marines, they hold their own. Again, there are no Banelings here. So Clem just takes the better fight. We have 2-2 on the way. Still a 0-0 for Reynor. Ay, ay, ay. And Reynor, he's basically all in. It feels like a weird thing to say, just because, like, sure, he's got 4 bases, but he's not droning. Like, he's not droning his 4th. He's not taking up into Hive. He's not taking up into any upgrades. Like, Reynor, he is 3-base all in. 3-base all in here. It's all or nothing. The best that Reynor can hope for is that Clem moves out. If Clem can move out and Reynor can fight on his terms, then he can make this all in work. If Clem stays defensive, then Reynor, I don't see him breaking him. But so far, the defensive position here is not amazing. Reynor is about to max out. Where are those Widow Mines? Oh! Decent splits. Yeah, they are decent. Have mass links here towards the left-hand side as well. Catching up the Banelings. Very nice catch. Banelings go down. Thors are on the way. Clem, I believe he did spot those lings. Yeah, he's aware. Baiting him in. Oh my god, massive connections. Yeah, very nice Widow Mine shots. At the same time, medevacs are on their own, losing 1 medevac. So a bit of miscontrol here out of Clem. Mind shots are going to be going up. Ooh, not amazing on a couple of banelings. But Clem is still trading more efficiently. Now the Thors are here. Yeah, the Thor is here. Banelings, they roll in into the minefield. Oh my god. The banelings do nothing. And Reynor, he's dead in the water at this point. Like, remember, Reynor, he's not been droning, no saturation. Reynor's been all in this entire time. 0 upgrades for Reynor. 0 upgrades, 0 longevity. Collapsing in, takes down the Thor, but only the Thor. GG gets called, and Clem takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A big gamble here out of Reynor. Again, Reynor, his goal was for Clem to push into him. So Clem to push into Reynor. And I blame him. Like, Clem, he's known for being very aggressive, very active, very in your face. That is Clem's style. And Reynor wanted Clem to be more aggressive, to be more active, but Clem was so patient. Once he realized something was wrong, something was amiss, he was very safe, very defensive. Sure, he was going into this early stim timing and early medevacs, but he chose not to push. He chose not to attack. He stayed back at home, threw down center towers, threw down missile turrets. Then, of course, he confirmed with the scan what was going on, and he just chilled back at home. And snowballed from there. GG. GG, well played with that. Clem takes the lead, and now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let's go. Loading into game 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran leading the series 1-0. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Mothership, we have the red Zerg player, the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Reynor. Here we go. So we get into our TvZ. And we'll see if Reynor can recover and force the ace match. We'll see if he can bring it back. Welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a very large map of the map pool. Unlike some of the other maps, unlike Title Citadel, Mothership has a very open bases, has a much more open 3rd, 4th, 5th base. I would say that in a longer game, I actually favor the Zerg player here just because the bases are much more difficult to defend. It's going to be difficult for Clem to turtle up back at home. So getting into a longer game state, I do favor Reynor's position. This is where I would expect to see Clem be more aggressive. I would expect Clem to be much more active, much more aggressive. Being defensive on Mothership is much more difficult to achieve. Now, hatch gas pool. This time we have a standard opener out of Reynor. Remember, last game, Reynor did not play standard. Reynor went for a later gas. He went for a later gas geyser into continued gas mining, though, into Rex into 2 base muta, into a 336 layer timing into 2 base muta. Rex, stay with us, Pappy. Stay with us. Much love to Rex. He's a great guy. The Tyrannosaurus himself, the king, Pappy. Rex, he at one point was a Taiwanese Zerg player, but nowadays he is a caster. He does devote, I mean, he still plays, he still is a very strong player, don't get me wrong, but nowadays he does devote a lot more time to casting, to content creation. But otherwise we do have Reynor moving out. That's why the Clem is nowhere to be found. Clem does poke in. Getting a Zergling so far. Not bad. Getting a Zergling and forcing out a gas geyser. Behind this, going for a 3rd CC. 3rd CC before starports. Standard economic opener so far to Clem. We'll see if he goes for any earlier eBays. Or for a Rex. As the add-on solve 3 CC into starport into Banshee play. Okay, so everything's looking normal from Clem so far. Standard opener. Remember last game we went for an earlier sim timing. Likewise, this time, I mean, Clem, he at least does scout the third base, so he knows that this time we have a standard build out of Reynor. Remember, Reynor, he stayed on 2 bases longer last game. Oh, as Reynor, he's still in. Gee, oh god, my apologies, I did miss this. Reynor went for a standard opener, except this time he's staying in gas. Stays in gas, and what are we spending it on? My assumption was for a fast lair, but no, it looks like he wants to go into fast +1 carapace. This is a Miyamika build. Okay. So fast carapace is on the way. I'm assuming it's going to be carapace. Oh, Clem not going for the add-on swap, but going Liberator first. Okay. Opens up Liberator, has potential for damage. So because there's no add-on swap, this means earlier stim. So stim is faster than usual, faster than normal. As usually you would add-on swap into Banshee play. So fast stim. A more aggressive build out of Clem. Meanwhile, yep, as we assumed, it is going to be fast carapace. Carapace is on the way for Reynor. Now, what does fast pulse on carapace achieve? This is ideal against a bio-heavy composition. Against these early stim timings, you do want carapace as quickly as possible, as it is the best upgrade against bio. When you're playing Lean Bane. Zoom threaten, they get a queen. Nice pick off, no transfuse. And not a Benji, no transfuse. Let me trades well. Liberator found no real damage here at the natural. And no drone kills. Clem pulls away. But now Reynor knows, right? Reynor, once again, just like last game, 0 scouting. Like, last game with Reynor, he had 0 scouting this time as well, so he's just playing off of vibes or playing off of what he's seeing. Now, because he just saw the Liberator, he now knows that it is fast stim. So now Reynor's aware. He's getting to his 1/1 upgrades. Now there's a bit of a give and take here. Reynor's being quite greedy. Oh my god, the control! Clem shuts down the Lings. But Reynor, he's going for a late lair. You can see here, there's a 5:40 lair timing. Why is the lair so late? Well, fast +1 carapace and also fast +1 melee as well. So faster upgrades. This is a greedy style here by Reynor. We'll see if he can get away with it. The downside here, late lair, which means late overseer scout. It also means late baneling speed, right? Late baneling speed, late tech. All in favor of faster upgrades, which does scale better into a longer game. True. Again, that's why this is greedy. And we'll see if we can get away with it. Clem is dropping. Now, because +1 carapace was resourced so quickly, it's ready for this. Like, +1 carapace is ready here at 620, is ready in time for the first double drop. So Reynor, he should be okay. Drop is spotted. We have 26 Lings to defend, and the Queens as well. Again, Reynor should be fine. Just zoning away. Ooh, we'll lose 1 Queen. That shouldn't have happened. Miscontrol there as he did miss the transfuse. Gets 2 Marines. Yeah, 2 Marines in total. Reynor holds. Reynor is holding on to get another expansion, again building up into a longer game. As in the chat, it's because you don't have to scout in ZVT. That is not true. Are you saying that it's wrong for Reynor and Serral to scout, as they usually do? Here, I would say that Reynor is making a lot of assumptions. If you watch his series versus Maru, Reynor was scouting a lot. So that is a misconception. So be careful. Ooh, as the base is going to be denied. It's Reynor gambaying back. these Fungals. Does lock down the Marines. Oh my god, brutal mind connections though. Oh my god, yeah, we can just stand and fight. The mine shots are insane. So many Lings go down. I'm waiting for this to update. So many dead Zerglings. Clem does our trade. Behind this, we've got 2-2 on the way. We have Liberators to reinforce. Interesting. Going for more Libs. That's 31 Lings and an Infestor. Thankfully, there was some friendly fire. From here, Clem trying to commit. What am I shot? Oh my god, once again pops off. Jesus, that's what, 3 or 4 soul connections here this game so far. Ay, ay, ay. Clem's not done. Oh, has to be careful there. Has to respect the fungal. As one of my shots does not get baited. Oh my god. Once again, we have some decent connections. Clem establishing his own 4th base. His aggression has allowed him to expand. And Reynor, he's trying to survive, going purely Ling Ultra. This is a style that we have seen Reynor attempt to pull off. We've had some mixed results, is what I will say. We have some mixed results here. It's very greedy as he's doing this without any banelings. Marines are just rushing to the natural. There's nothing to defend, and we're going for the base trade, going for a massive counterattack. I mean, that's all that Reynor can do. Ultras are on the way. Reynor has to go through the freedom zones into his own natural. Lings a bust into the middle lines. One of my shots are going off. And does Clem have enough of the ultras? Oh, the bungles. Phone goes off. The first ultra arrives. No upgrades. Yeah, no upgrades though. More chain fungals though. The fungals are popping off. He's holding. Yeah, Reynor, he's barely holding on back at home. There's still a handful of Marines. At the same time, he crippled the economy, killed 43 SCVs. And Clem, he's hurting. Clem, he's hurting. Does kill 2 expansions though. Okay, we're getting rowdy. We're getting messy. We're getting messy. Reynor is down to a 2-base economy. Meanwhile, Clem, can he save his planetary? He can. It saves the planetary. 2-base versus 2-base. GG gets called. Too many losses for Reynor, and Clem, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A bold move here by Reynor. I feel like I say this all the time, but if you haven't been watching Reynor over the past 6 months, Reynor, he has this build which is very risky. As you saw, it's going at Ling into Infestor into Ultra. You're skipping Banelings, you're skipping Hydras, you're skipping Mutas, of course, you're skipping any anti-air, you're skipping any Banelings, and you're trying to rush into Ultras as quickly as possible. We've seen it fail more often than not, I'll be honest. If you remember, Serral did adopt this build against Clem in Maestros of the Game, and Clem did win that tournament, by the way. He did beat Serral in Maestros. So Clem, he was able to pop off there. It is a really nice build if you're left alone, right? If your opponent's more passive and more timid, and if they're a little bit less active and aggressive, and if you have a more defensive map, then you can get away with it. But it is a big risk here because you're so vulnerable to these bio pushes, because you have no banelings to rely upon. You're heavily reliant on those fungals, and we saw some okay fungals, but we saw better Widowmine shots. We saw better trades from Clem, just overwhelming and punishing Reynor. And sure, we saw some ultras towards the end, but again, they were engaging pre-upgrades. They didn't have kindness plating at the time, didn't have their upgrades, they weren't at their best, so the ultras were still dying to the mass marine. GG, well played. Things got chaotic. Reynor, his best chance was the base trade, but alas, I didn't quite have enough to actually break through the walls or break the planetary, as he had pure Ling. GG, well played with that. Congratulations to Clem. Clem does advance on to the grand finals, and up next we do have our next series. It is going to be the upper semis, Solar versus Max Packs. Let's go.